which our opponents interpret as inaction, sleepiness, and what have you, I will say to them, pleasant surprises are around the corner. Because we have quietly been laying the foundation. They will see and know that what's coming could not have taken 1 month or 2 months to sow. We do not sow seeds today, expect them to germinate tomorrow and harvesting the day after. We have to plan and plan constructively. That is what I have done in the past. Take account of achievements. You will all feel proud that it was one of you. Finally, Honorable Minister, the President of NIBR, the Chairman of the Lagos chapter, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I wish to implore you all to intensify your efforts, particularly in the area of crisis management, which in most cases is based on communication gap. As corporate communicators, you must endeavor to use the facts, figures, and information data at your disposal to educate and enlighten the public about the position of government on different issues. Government on its part will keep you informed and involved in its effort to reach the people at all times. Public relations is a management function, hence practitioners must be involved with decision making in order to be able to execute the programs and policies as designed. The whole world is changing, and we cannot be indifferent. Therefore, we must not only use public relations locally, we should equally use it to project and promote our image abroad. We must reach out to the world through sports, culture, tourism, socially and economically. Distinguished colleagues of the image-making profession, I thank you all for the great honor you did me today. I also thank all and sundry for your attention, and I wish you a fruitful deliberation and a free and fair election thereafter. And I have the honor, as you requested of me, Honorable Minister, Mr. President of the Institute, Chairman of the Lagos chapter, all eminent and distinguished people here gathered, to formally declare open this year's annual general meeting, the theme of which I wish to call Using Public Relations for Public Relations.
of Lagos State is our main concern. And we must be there, beside him, left and right, front and back, to ensure his success. He has talked about surprises, and I can assure you that just last night, he told me one of the surprises. Please, would you like to share the surprise with me? The governor has promised that in the next 3 months, the Lagos State chapter of the Institute of Public Relations will get the Here is a man I have known for 4 years.
Commentary on the investiture of Governor Micheal Otedola as a patron of the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations.
Summative test. We said we could convert that money to the summative test. And we should go ahead to conduct that examination. Up till today, that money was not paid, was not honored. The vouchers presented to the Minister of Finance was not honored. And we are indebted to various contractors handling the media exam. We should go into the continuous assessment papers to the tune of 1.8 million. We have to come back to the ministry. The ministry is on its own part was aware, tried to sympathize with us. What tied their hands up is the decree. Because when we interpret this decree, the decree supersedes the guideline.
President, as you can see, does not lead us to any particular position. You can only say that he's blaming Decree 3. Whether we like Decree 3 or not, I swore to an oath of office to uphold the Constitution, and that means to follow the laws. In my private life, I could dip hands into my private savings to help the needy. I have the private resources from which I could help in this particular case. That, as your president rightly pointed out, this is not a matter for politicking. It is very serious. And it is because I saw it as serious when it was coming that the local governments have neglected their duty. And I remember what I told the Executive Council of this state, that law or no law, the children that go to these primary schools are children of the Lagos State. Therefore, although the law now places the responsibility squarely on the shoulders of the local governments, there is no cover in the budget for primary schools in the Lagos State budget. Well, I said, what their immediate needs were, calculated over a period of time, I said, give them 3 million. It was a grant because it's our children. The delay in getting this money to you, I'm doing something I gave approval to over 4 weeks ago, is the fact that the money was not there. And it was to come from. It was, I later understood, very difficult for the budgetary department. The House of Assembly is responsible for making the laws. Appropriation is a law. If we spent 10 naira more than was appropriated by law, what you will hear later is that Otedola has misappropriated money. So I want to let you know that you should not compare the situation in 1991 to today's situation. There was no legislature last year. The governor was both the legislature and the executive. Percent of the state government's allocation of federation account and gave direct to the local governments for them to run primary schools. Honestly, why must you blame the state government? If you examine it properly, where is the blame? The state government. The state government was running the primary schools before. There was no problem. If tomorrow the federal government says, back to where you were, primary schools, let the state government run it, we will be glad, because it's our children we are talking about, their future. And if federal government does that, they will now return the 5%. We're talking of 5%, it looks small, but it's big money. 5% of what the states should get. Last year, the average allocation of federation account that Lagos State got was in excess of 100 million a month. After these adjustments and a change in the formula, Lagos State now gets just a little over 40 million every month. That means it dropped to less than half of what it used to get. Remain with the state government, and we do that. Only a couple of weeks ago, I told the Commissioner for Finance that I hear that teachers' salaries are paid a few days after the month for which the money is intended has passed. Why should that be so? And he explained to me that the check would promptly go to Tescom about the 25th of the month. Tescom would spend about 5 days at least to have that check cleared. Then it begins to write its own check. That takes another 5 days to clear. See. And he said that's been so for some 3 years past. But usually the sins of the past are always visited on this government because nobody expects an NRC government in Lagos. Now they know it's always finding fault. Even when you make a good gesture, they turn it around. So I would like to appeal to you to let that attitude change. It's not you, but generally. Whilst they have that attitude, they are not going to see any good in the things the government does. Imagine a person in a society, high in the society, chairman of a local government, who was circulating seditious publication to discredit the government. He urged pupils to take this home and make sure they reach their parents to read, in which he said that the state government had made it impossible for the primary schools to have examinations and so on and so forth. Do what we can for the upliftment of education. We, as at now, have no fault in this matter of primary education funding. We would like to see something done to Decree 43. I'm sorry, Decree 3. Decree 43 is another one. Decree 3. And I think that the federal government will do something about it. I'm not saying that the federal government is going to return primary schools to the state. I don't know what they're going to do.
I understand. We all understand.
But what they will do to see that the local governments spend the money or comply with the decree. They have more money than we have, because looking at what they do, you see that they seem to have plenty of money to throw around. However, apportioning blame is not the answer to the problem. What the answer is what we must find to get the schools going along the right track. That is it's the solution to the problem that is important, not the apportionment of blames. But I am trying to say to you that it will be unfair for anyone who really understands what happens to now say that it is the state government that is not responsive to the yearnings of the people. If I have my way, I will give you, but even this 3 million I'm telling you is just hanging in the air. They cannot find a place Because once I thought that long ago, from the time I approved this thing, would have been, it has not been given because there was no provision in the budget for primary schools. But as President indicated that they have not received the money, that's a surprise to me.
Some of us.
Oh, some of you. Okay. Well, you know, the schools are scattered all over the place, and I had said that that money must go directly to the schools. And the reason I said that was to make sure that the money actually reached those who are going to utilize it for the purpose it was meant. If it's just said, okay, 15 local governments have this money to help fund to help your need in the primary schools, I know what may likely happen to the money, their own money, to get things going. It is that money that we want to reimburse. That's the purpose of the grant. So that it gets directly to you. You knew that here is 10 naira. You had already lent 4 or 5 naira to this. Will you take that first? It is a gift. If the word grant creates any wrong, it's a gift to schools. It is not done out of any law, rightly. I feel that the government is really concerned, and that's why it did that grant. If we find ways and means of coming to your aid again before the year runs out, we will do it. And with this experience, we may next year say that in spite of decree something, we will make provision that we will set aside in case local governments put us or put the state into a problem similar to this, where we can take from. But this year, if the budget is closely examined, you will find that no provision was spent there. That dispassionately should you approach issues like this. Education, as I see it, is beyond politics. We cannot joke with our children's future.
Chiefs, distinguished members of the NRC, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we are here this morning to watch the inauguration of 2 of our boards, the Lagos State Broadcasting Corporation and the Lagos State Bulk Purchase. I hereby invite His Excellency to perform the ceremony.
Thank you. Honorable Commissioners, Secretary to the State Government, Special Advisors, Director Generals, our Royal Fathers, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we are gathered here for another major step in this administration's quest to promote excellence in all spheres of life in Lagos State. We are inaugurating this morning the boards of the Lagos State Broadcasting Corporation and the Lagos State Bulk Purchasing Corporation. Although the boards of all other Lagos State government-owned companies and parastatals will be reconstituted and inaugurated in the next couple of weeks, attached to the two corporations. As you are all aware, the objective of this administration is to make Lagos State to excel and to be a model of rapid socio-economic development. The attainment of this goal will depend on how well we reorientate and mobilize our people. Communication is a veritable instrument for effective mobilization. This is why we would neither leave information management to chance, nor tolerate mediocrity and lack of dedication in the running of our various organs of communication. The Lagos State Broadcasting Corporation has tremendous potential, both as a commercial organization and as an instrument for public enlightenment, where there had hitherto been losses. Excellence is plugging holes through which there had been wastage. Excellence is optimal utilization of resources to attain stated goals. In this era of commercialization of government parastatals, in this era of private broadcasting, there will be increased competition among the operators of electronic media. It is your responsibility as members of this board to make Lagos State Broadcasting Corporation to excel. In the same manner, the Lagos State Bulk Purchasing Corporation must be managed in such a way as to ensure that it remains a viable commercial organization while continuing to serve public interest. We had seriously considered scrapping this parastatal because reports reaching us showed that it was becoming a corrupt and inefficient outfit. Besides, as believers in free enterprise and private initiative, we felt that its activities could be better handled by private companies. However, at a time when the structural adjustment program has brought some strains and pains along with its gains, we are convinced that the Lagos State Bulk Purchasing Corporation could bring additional relief to the populace. This is why we have on this board competent professionals and representatives of grassroots interest groups. You must see yourselves as a turnaround management team while pursuing the socio-political goals of bringing essential commodities within the easy reach of our people. You must not compromise efficiency and commercial viability. You must restore the credibility of this corporation by reviving discipline and accountability. The future of parastatals and government-owned companies will continue to generate interest among citizens and public administrators. As far as this administration is concerned, the era of bloated government is over. Government's involvement in commercial ventures should be limited to the attainment of specific objectives in the public interest. Our priority is therefore to continue to promote entrepreneurship and private initiative, but we will continue to invest in strategic sectors to enhance our revenue generation capacity, to provide some social services, and to stimulate growth in selected areas. While the ultimate purpose of governance is to enhance the quality of the life of the masses, this cannot be achieved if we compromise on discipline and financial prudence. The era of government as Father Christmas is over. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we are determined to make Lagos State excel. Those who have been skeptical or impatient about our pursuit of this goal must realize that quality can only be achieved within a time frame. Bear with us. We are confident that the fruits of our unique approach to governance will soon manifest themselves. Distinguished board chairmen and members, your appointment is a call to serve our people of Lagos State or selfish opportunism. Anyone who would have an important role to play in this government must watch me carefully. You must understand my vision. You must identify with my mission. You must imitate my style. Public service must not be seen merely as an opportunity for self-aggrandizement, self-promotion, or self-enrichment. Those who cannot make sacrifices and exercise discipline cannot serve the interests of the masses. If you do not believe in my leadership, you should be honorable enough to resign your appointment. The National Republican Convention is clear. The mandate of the electorate in Lagos State is clear. That Micheal Otedola should mobilize all necessary human and material resources to translate his vision of an excelling Lagos State to reality. This is the essence of the presidential system which we operate. Nobody in this administration will be allowed to constitute his or herself into a cog in the wheel of our progress, to remove or sideline any misfit. As we inaugurate these boards today, I pray that God will grant you all the grace to serve with humility and dedication. The true path to self-fulfillment is altruism and service. I congratulate you and wish you success. Kabiyesi, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you for listening.
Excellency, the Governor of Lagos State, the Member of State Executive Council here present, the Secretary to the State Government, Special Advisors, party leaders here present, Director Generals, Elders and Chiefs, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the member of the newly inaugurated Board of Lagos State Bulk Purchasing Corporation, I wish to express our gratitude and deep commitment to Your Excellency for the confidence reposed in us to serve on this important board. Important in the sense that the rate of inflation in our society today is an issue that has attracted objective and biased comments and analysis from various sectors of Nigerian public. We, as the member of the board of Lagos State Bulk Purchasing, are conscious and realize the significant role the board could play in alleviating the effect of inflation on various products, particularly the household goods that affect the daily existence of Nigerian populace. Having this in mind, we wish to make public pledge to Your Excellency here today that we shall leave no stone untouched to ensure that the effect of inflation on all our goods are brought under control. Once again, I thank Your Excellency, the member of the Executive Council, for this honor bestowed on us. I assure you, we shall not disappoint Your Excellency. Our great party and the entire people of Lagos State. Thank you.
Honorable Commissioners, Special Advisors, Directors General, Your Royal Highness, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, may I, on behalf of the new board of Lagos State Broadcasting Corporation, express our deep gratitude, even though humbly done, to Your Excellency for appointing us to look after this special resource of your government. We believe that broadcasting is a public resource. It is a special one at that and should be used on behalf of the people, only entrusted to us to manage in order to project the society as it is now, reflect what it is, and project into the future what the society should be. We believe it is part of our duty to give adequate publicity to the government of the day in order that the general citizenry will be quite aware of the aspirations of government and the problems of government. It is our intention to use the Lagos State Broadcasting Corporation as a two-way communication system through which the general public can dialogue with the government. We wish to turn it into a safety valve that can be used to diffuse tension in the society. It's spite of the competitiveness in broadcasting, Ogun State homes onto Lagos, Oyo State homes onto Lagos. We have a barrage of federal institutions of broadcasting in Lagos. We hope we'll be able to make Lagos State Broadcasting Corporation an economic proposition. These and many more we believe we can do through good programming. Good programming and good programs require good and modern equipment for their production. Not only should we produce good programs, we should make sure that they are transmitted through good and modern equipment for good reception. But Your Excellency, ọmọdé ò gbọdọ̀ pa òwe níwájú àgbàlagbà, ṣùgbọ́n wọ́n ní ọbẹ̀ tó dùn ọgbọ́dọ̀ ń pa. We will therefore need the support of government, both financially and morally, to achieve our objectives, which principally will be to serve the government and all the people of Lagos State. We feel confident that government will come to the aid of the corporation in the arduous task of providing excellent broadcasting for Lagos State. On our side, I mean the board, I am on behalf of my colleagues on the board of Lagos State Broadcasting Corporation pledging our unalloyed loyalty to Your Excellency and indeed to the government and people of Lagos State. We will do our best to provide the state with excellent and purposeful broadcasting to make Lagos State excel.
Program is a very important program of the people of Lagos State. More so initiated, more so given a lot of encouragement under this administration. And the one progressive government, the state, by the most progressive government the state has had, which has been working very silently without making too much noise, under the able leadership of the NRC governor of the state, Sir Micheal Otedola, to give you a formal welcome address. So I have the honor of inviting the chairman.
Members of the State Legislative Council, Secretary to the local government, Obas and Kids, my Lord spiritual and temporal, community leaders, men. On behalf of my cabinet, the legislators and the entire citizenry of Mushi local government area, and other guests to this historic occasion of launching 7 million naira Mushi transport service. When
we assumed office in December 1991, we were poised making an indelible mark during our short stay in office. We resolved to make life more comfortable for our people within the available funds. Together, I am profoundly happy to state that this first fleet of vehicles that are about to be commissioned were purchased from the revenue of Micheal local government without borrowing a kobo. I will briefly mention that I inherited. I can now say that within the 6 months of my administration, the 8 kobo has been real 589 within the local government, the history of Micheal local government. In will be run by a group of experts in automobile development. I want to seize this opportunity to assure the good people of Micheal that the proceeds realized from this first set of vehicles will be utilized in purchasing additional vehicles.